You want to see desperation and fear manifested into an orange person? That's what I have for you. Trump, in a quick interview that we talked about how he referenced it during his speech in Michigan, he said, I just had an interview with NBC News reporter. She's so bad. And now we have the footage, and I see why he was irritated, because he tries to do something so wild and just go, and we've seen this now more consistently with Trump. It's so bonkers he thinks this can work on people. He's trying to convince people that both if they're super pro-life and if they're super pro-choice, he's their person. And now he's been posting things like, I'm for women's reproductive rights. Stop it. You are one of the most destructive people to women's reproductive rights. Stand by your position and let us defeat you based off of it. Goodness gracious. And Phil Kowski posted this. Boom. Donald Trump announced today he's now... It's so ridiculous. He's now pro-choice on abortion. And Aaron Rupar says incredible. So I'll show you this clip and then a second one. And then I'll show you how MAGA, some within MAGA, are freaking out and are mad at him and might withhold their vote because of how much he's shifting on this issue.
Does.
You overturned Roe, and you want abortion to be a states' rights issue. In Florida, the state that you are a resident of, there's an abortion-related amendment on the ballot to overturn the 6-week ban in Florida. How are you going to vote on that?
Well, I think the 6 week is too short. It has to be more time, and so and I've told them that I want more weeks.
So you'll vote in favor of the amendment?
I am going to be voting that we need more than 6 weeks. Look, just so you understand.
We might just have to, for the sake of time, set aside analysis of his confusion. So are you voting for it? I'm voting for more than 6 weeks. He always tries to put things in more indecipherable ways to decrease the likelihood that it'll become a political controversy. Because if he were to go, I'm voting for that proposal, then it becomes so simply put in a headline. But when he does this weird talk in circles thing, it is more difficult to succinctly depict in reporting. But yeah, they're saying that the 6-week abortion ban, he's espousing a more correct stance than DeSantis has, for example, which is the 6-week abortion ban in Florida is not just not in line with the citizens of Florida's stance on this, but it's just a crazy policy to have implemented and is doing irreparable damage for people. And Trump does not have any real beliefs, except for he loves himself more than anything that has ever existed in the history of humanity. That's the one belief he has. Trump is awesome. So then he's able to just bend his quote-unquote principles, bend his policy stance, however, into whatever principle, or whatever pretzel, I should say, he needs to further his political interests. But the thing is I almost think, I don't know, it's a tough one, because people are rightfully motivated against the MAGA abortion bans. But I almost think it creates more of a political firestorm for him to be going all over the place on this, trying to take credit for how great the overturning of Roe v. Wade was and say, oh yeah, some Republican states are doing great, but also, I don't know, don't blame me. I also want to do the Democratic things. Just elect me and then I'll figure it out from there. No. We don't even need to listen to what Trump's stance is now or what he's pretending like his stance is now. All we need to look at is, what did Trump's election 2016 do to reproductive rights? Well, because of that, he got those justices on the Supreme Court explicitly in part to overturn Roe v. Wade, and they did it. And every single horrible thing, every Republican you want to blame, rightfully so, for all of the different crazy abortion bans, all of that was only enabled because of Trump, him, single most damaging person to reproductive rights. So when we vote, we don't even need to listen to his plan for a second term, or do we believe is his project 2025, is that what we're going to do? Or is he going to do an abortion ban or veto an abortion ban, as J.D. Vance recently alluded? Doesn't matter. We're going to punish him electorally for what he already did, knowing that he clearly doesn't have the respect for women's rights that would be necessary in a president. Okay, so that's a part of this. The other is this desperate attempt to save his campaign with the surge of Harris's campaign. He posted this: "My administration will be great for women and their reproductive rights." My colleague Jaden just told me, and you can look at this on screen, we're gonna put on screen. 5 million views last week came from people who aren't subscribed. If that's one of you, click that subscribe button, baby. It's easy, it's free, but it makes all the difference. Back to the video. How about, I have this crazy idea for Trump. How about you just do that with your stance? I wish I pulled up the clip. I don't have it in this segment. It would take too long to find it. But we covered him saying last time he was asked about one of these reproductive right related issues, he said, "Oh, we have a great thing coming out on that in 2 weeks." It never came out. He doesn't have a stance. He doesn't know where he'd draw the line. He doesn't know how he'd vote in this Florida direct ballot initiative election. He's completely detached from any real values other than what helps me. Now, because I spent too long ranting about that, let's watch the second clip and then we'll look at the MAGA backlash.
IVF has been an issue that has become political. A lot of people talking about it. What's the Trump administration going to do when it comes to IVF if you get elected?
Right. Well, as you know, I was always for IVF right from the beginning. As soon as we heard about it, it's fertilization and it's helping women and men and families, but it's helping women able to have a baby. Some have great difficulty, and
no, we don't need you to explain what IVF is to us. Sorry, he does this on everything. When he doesn't know what he wants to say, he just starts saying things that associate with the subject. That's not what we're asking you about, sir.
a lot of them have been very happy with the results, as you know, and what we're doing. And we're doing this because we just think it's great. And we need great children, beautiful children in our country. We actually need them. And we are going to be, under the Trump administration, we are going to be paying for that treatment. So we are paying for that treatment.
All Americans who want it?
For all Americans that get it, all Americans that need it. So we're going to be paying for that treatment, or we're going to be mandating that the insurance company pay.
Didn't he just say the government paying for health care was communism when he was attacking Kamala Harris? But I agree with that policy. But he's pulling that out of his rear end because he's desperate right now and trying to come off as more moderate than he actually is. But take a look at this. The Catholic News Agency, I guess this is called, reports live action President Leela Rose, Trump is losing pro-life votes. Live action President Leela Rose is increasing her criticism of 2024 Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump, arguing that his recent statements are alienating pro-life voters such as herself. Given the current situation, we have 2 pro-abortion tickets. A Trump win is not a pro-life win right now. Pro-lifers will need to challenge both leaders either way. We only help Trump by sounding the alarm. Trump is losing pro-life votes regardless of what I say because of his own actions. So Trump is trying to go in what we correctly identify as a more rational direction, is what he's trying to pretend like he has. We shouldn't believe it. But he's trying to do that. But the people over here that he's leaving in that rhetoric aren't willing to go, you know what, Trump, we know the game you're playing. We're on board. Wink, wink, nod, nod. We'll pretend like for this election we're more reasonable, and then once you get in, you can do whatever you want. Which is what Trump he has said before. We gotta win though. We're gonna do everything for you, pro-life, but you gotta win. And they aren't willing to say that, and so they're actually, some of them saying, I can no longer vote for Trump. And think about it, I have people in my life who are single issue voters, and it's the issue of abortion, honestly, both directions, but irrelevant to this, you have people who say my pro-life stance means that is the only thing. Doesn't matter what Trump did. Doesn't matter on any other issue, how authoritarian he is, abortion. I think that's a great stance to have, but some people have that. Think about if that's you and you really believe what this person said, which is that now you have 2 pro-choice candidates. Again, we can't accept that framing for our advocacy because it's not true, but for them to believe that could actually cause some of those individuals to not be motivated to go out and vote for Trump. which is really interesting. Or maybe they're grappling and they're thinking, I want to go and vote for a pro-life candidate, but on almost everything else, like basic decency and basic respect for democracy, I do see that Kamala Harris is a better candidate, which I've talked to people who say something to that effect. This faltering from Trump on their values might be just enough for them to go, all right, you know what, I'm going to Harris, even if they disagree with her on reproductive rights. By the way, Harris, who has a consistent track record with this issue, was just talking about this in Georgia.
One does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree the government should not be telling her what to do.
By the way, you want to see a fired up crowd? Is that what you want? Huh? Because you can have it if you want it.
So, Savannah, are you ready to make your voices heard? Do we believe in freedom? Do we believe in opportunity? Do we believe in the promise of America? And are we ready to fight for it? And when we fight, God bless you and God bless you.
It's so cool that now everyone knows that that's the ending. Oh, gosh. So cool. So maybe, I guess a part of the strategy is Trump's trying to win over people who want reproductive rights. But if you want that, that was a weird tone of voice. Apologies. That slips out. If you want that, then why not just vote for the actual pro-reproductive rights candidate? I guess he's trying to do the analysis. There's some people who would be open to voting for him, but are being pushed in the direction of Harris because of how radical MAGA has become on the abortion rights issue. But hopefully they won't be misled by Trump's political pandering. Let me know what you thought of that in the comments. If you want to support this show and get access to the bonus show, you can do it by clicking the join button below. And if you want to donate to Harris's campaign, you can do that by clicking the link in the description of this video.